Good morning, everybody. Patty Ann here. Hey, today I'm going to go over this PixScan mat for your silhouette machine, whether it be a Cameo or a portrait, and it's the PixScan mat right there. And so I know a lot of you have a love-hate relationship with it. So I'm going to show you first of all how I went ahead and got mine calibrated with my iPhone. I used to have it on my older iPhone. Just yesterday I recalibrated it on my new iPhone. Some people say that you don't really have to calibrate things, but I couldn't get things to work out properly without calibrating it. So I'm going to show you how to calibrate your iPhone today. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to print out a sheet that looks just like this. But be careful when you print it out and make sure it's really well done, because my first one, I don't know if you can see or not, but it has double lines of dots here and I have no idea how that happened. So I just went ahead and printed out a second one that didn't have that, and this one worked perfectly. Okay, here we are in Silhouette, and the first thing I would do is come up here on the upper right hand side to the second button down, which is the PixScan icon. When I click on that, it's going to open up the PixScan panel. And when this panel is open, as you can see, if you look down here where this bluish line is, I already have my Apple iPhone connected here, okay? But I'm going to show you how to do it. And you need to notice this ratio right here, 4:3, because that'll be important later on. But in order to do the PixScan mat again, what you would do is this. Show the calibration test card, print this, then take your camera and get a really good picture of it. After you're done with that, you're going to go to Add, and you're going to find the really good picture you took of that. Now notice, I've tried this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different times, and I had issues with it. The last one was the charm, because I remembered to make that be the exact size ratio that I needed it to be, which was 4.3. So after that's done, then I'm able to just come over here to import PixScan image and get a PixScan image, and the last one I did was this one. I'll bring it in, and I won't have any kind of warnings or anything at all, because I made sure that this was also 4.3, and I'm going to show you a video about what I'm talking about there. Okay, to take the video of this sheet that I printed, I'll simply put it down on my table. Now maybe you can see there's a lot of shadows over top of it right now. That won't be good. So what I needed to do was bring over another light, because I have a lot of overhead lighting here so that my workspace is illuminated when I'm working or crafting. So I brought this lamp over here and turned it on, and then that allows me to get rid of all of those shadows. I would bring my phone camera over here now. Right now mine's videotaping, so I can't, but I would hold it just like this, making sure that I'm not getting shadows on this sheet, and I try to adjust it so that these stay like perpendicular to each other, doesn't get skewed. I'm not going to zoom in at all. Leave it like it is, take a picture, and then send it to my computer however I do that. If it's email, I would send it as the full size. I could send it through Google Pictures, I think, different ways that you can send it to your computer. So get it over there and join me up there again at my computer. Okay, right now I have my camera open on my iPhone. I wouldn't be taking the picture like this because of that shadow, but let's ignore that for right now. What I want to tell you about is that ratio of 4:3. So if you look right up here in the black area of my camera, my iPhone camera, you'll see a little arrow that points up. If I touch that arrow, look what comes down now, down this way in the black area. Notice that it says 4:3. I'm going to go ahead and click on that to make sure that the image that I'm taking, its ratio is 4:3, and then I can just hit this button and take the image, and then I'll transfer the image to my computer. Okay, if you look up here at my screen, I've been having a hard time doing the tracing feature because this is really not very much of a contrast here. So what you can do instead is simply come over here to the tool, the line tools, and I got the one that's called the Draw a Polygon tool. Clicked on that. And then I'm just going around these things and clicking, click, click, and double click to end it. And if I'm not sure if that's working well, I can click on this to highlight it, come over here to this paint palette on the upper right hand side, and then change the transparency of the blue. And then I can more easily see if I need to adjust the placement of this point, like so. And then of course I can double click on this and I get the nodes. Then I can easily move these the way I need them to be. That's pretty good. All right, so let's do the next one. Okay, again, I'll get that poly tool, polygon, and click here. Just not holding down my mouse key, just dragging along. Click here in the center, and then here, go down to this side. And when I get to the end, I'll double click, and that makes it like this. And again, if I want to see what's below it, I can come over here to the paint palette on the right and change the transparency. Okay, let's drop down now and do this butterfly right here. So again, I'd come up to the trace panel, select the trace area, and select this butterfly. Notice once again I didn't get him all in, but that's okay. I can just drag it up like that. So then I would just say trace. When that's done, then I'm going to come up here to the second button in, which is trace by color, and click on that. And you'll have to have the business edition, I'm pretty sure, to do trace by color. I'll have a link for it for you down below if you just have the free version. But you can do a lot with the printing or the PixScan Mat without having to trace by color. But in this case, you do have to trace by color. So I have my little eyedropper here, and I'm going to click it right in there, the white color. And you really can't see that it's gotten anything, so maybe, whoopsie, went too far up. Okay, if I go that far up, you can see that it's gotten the white, right? And that's what I want, so I'll say trace. And now I can remove these traces. This one with all the junk, I definitely do not want. There should be another one here with just a little bit of junk. This is the one I do want. It has the total outside edge and an inner edge. We don't want the inner edge, so we're going to trace it one more time. Select the trace area, trace this. And this time, instead of saying just trace, I'm going to say trace outer edge, but obviously nothing is highlighted to trace, so I need to up my threshold like that. And now say trace outer edge, and I can just drag this outer edge away and delete this piece. And so that you can see it better, I'm going to come up here and change its point size to a 1, and then I can just bring it back over here and place it into where it belongs. One last one, this flower here, we'll go to select the trace area. I'll say trace. Then I'm going to come up here to the eyedropper, trace by color. I want to trace the white. I need to up my tolerance so that it gets all of that white. Perfect. Then I'll say trace. And again, there should be two pieces I can remove. This piece of junk that I don't want with all of those cuts, and there will be a second one with just some inner cuts. Remember, we just wanted to cut the outer edge, so we have to trace it one more time. Oops, select the trace area, and this time rather than just saying trace, I'm going to say trace outer edge. And you can see this outer line is darker than the inner one. That's the one I want. Again, I can, with that highlighted, come up here and change its point size if I'd like, so I can see what I'm doing. And I can delete this one. And let's look and see what we have now with send. As you can see, I've done the bird, this flower, this one, the butterfly, and this flower. And I would continue on in just the same way. And I would have mine on glitter cardstock because that's what I'm using. Right now my machine's not turned on, so these things aren't showing up.
Okay, let's see how well this cut, and then I'm going to go over one more time quickly how to get set up for doing this. So here it is. Came out perfectly, as you can see. Really nice. So again, to get ready to do this, the first thing that you'll do is, let's go up to my screen. The first thing you'll do up here is you'll click on the PixScan Mat right here on the upper right hand side. And then you're going to go to Show Calibration Test Card. And it shows it right here. Then you're going to go to File and print your test calibration card. Now, as I said on mine, I wanted to make sure that I had the ratio of 4:3, 4 to 3. Okay, so I adjusted that on my camera, on my iPhone. Then after I did that, and I took a really good picture. Now remember, let's look down here for a second. The really good picture means there's no shadowing on here, and I don't zoom in at all. I just take a picture, okay? And you might have to have extra lights like I did here so I don't have shadows on it. You only need to do this one time, so don't get frustrated about that. One time that works, okay? So take that picture. Then you're going to come back up to your screen, and you're going to go to you're going to open your PixScan Mat again, and you're going to say add a camera right here with this button, and you're going to bring in the image that you did. Now look at all these tests I was doing with my dots. You're going to bring in the one that's going to work, and then it's going to automatically notice what camera you have, right? Just like that. Okay, the next thing that you'll do is, if you're ready to cut something, is you're going to put it on your mat. Now, for example, let's look down at my table again. If I was going to use this piece right here on this mat, I would have to cut it because it's longer than this rectangle on the mat. Whatever you're using has to fit within this rectangle. So I would need to cut this up a little bit to get it to fit onto there. Then I would take a photograph of this with my phone, again with the 4:3 ratio. Now I did fail to tell you on this one, try not to have your phone when you're doing the dots crooked like this. Try to have it dead straight on so that your lines are nice and straight of your dots, because it'll tell you about that too. And then this one, take a photograph of this, make sure it's 4:3. When you're done taking the photograph and you take it into your computer, you just go up here again and go, let's see, import PixScan image from a file. So you would import any image, and let's see, the last one that I did was this one. So I would open it, and I'm not going to get any kind of errors because I used the same aspect ratio, 4.3, that I used for my calibration, okay? And I made sure that all of my registration marks show up well. Everything's well lit. See, there's a little tiny bit of shadow on here, but not enough to bother it. So that's pretty much it. If you have some questions, let me know.
Thanks so much for joining me. Hey, don't forget to check out my links down below. And if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and share them. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks again. Bye-bye.